Ruben hates when I do that, which is exactly why I did it. Welcome to Real Talk at Real Life NYC. Thank you guys for being here with us. And I want to welcome our special guest, Rylan Blondo, to the house. Welcome, sir.
So happy to be here.
I'm glad you're here, man. And the reason we have Real Talk is so that we can get to know our leaders, and so that the students can get to know our leaders as well. And, you know, what you're doing in life, what's God doing in your life, challenge that you may face, just who you are as a person. So, and you're an interesting person, sir. So thank you for being a part of it.
Cheers.
And so, yeah, let's get into it, bro.
Let's
Talk
do it.
to me. So, first of all, I want to start with a rumor.
What you hear?
I heard about a nickname, Blondisimo.
It's my Spanish nickname.
Okay, where did Blondisimo come from?
And it came from, playing basketball in college. I don't know, Spanish music was on. I was just jamming,
Okay.
in the open gym.
Okay, so people may not know where your parents from.
So my mom is, she's from, America, but my grandma was born in Puerto Rico.
Okay,
So I got my Puerto Rican side from her.
nice.
And then my dad is Italian and German.
Okay,
So I got
Puerto
Blondo
Rican
side from that.
All right, Puerto Rican, German, Italian.
Yeah.
Nice little mix there.
Good
bro.
mix.
I love that,
So-
bro. I love that. So, Blondo, Ryan Blondo is your full name, correct?
Yes.
And you're part of the BC family, bro. This is exciting. And you've been now attending BC officially, Bethlehem, in real life for how long now?
Probably since like mid-December.
Okay,
So probably around like 5 months.
about 5 months. And we're gonna get into in a few moments what brought you back to BC,
How I got here.
what brought you to BC, because that's a story in itself, and it's really interesting, and it really points to what God is doing in your life. So you're 24 years young, I should say.
23.
23 years young.
Almost 24.
And you went to school for business,
Business analytics, yeah.
which I would love
Business
to know.
management. Same.
Business management. Okay.
Two different minor and major.
Okay. And you are currently working. Are you working in that field?
Yeah, so I'm at the Caraco Suits. I'm at the headquarters. So I'm at the headquarters
Caraco
in
Suits.
Inwood. Yeah. Suit
Okay, so-
place. And then I'm doing financial work, data, analytic work for them.
So you have nothing to do with sales.
No
it's all-
sales there.
So is what you're doing actually in line with what you studied?
Yeah,
Really?
which is good. So
Okay.
it's the financial side, pulling numbers, getting data for the
So
company.
you're a numbers guy, bro? You find that boring at all?
The thing with like business analytics is some of it's numbers, but most of it is like, making charts and pulling the data and seeing insights from that. What choices we can do for the company based off the numbers. So it's like half and half. I got to see the numbers, but it's like, what does that mean? How are we getting those numbers? Why is one store going up in sales, one store going down? Figuring out like those little things behind the scenes.
So have you always been interested in business? Because you're an athlete,
Yeah.
so that's kind of an
Yeah.
interesting combination there.
Yeah.
So did you always want to go into business as a?
I guess I wanted to have like I wanted to have my own training basketball company. That's what my goal is.
Basketball company.
Yeah. I want to have like a recruiting company. So I always wanted to be a scout, like a recruiter
Okay.
for a high level like college team, pro team.
Interesting.
So going out, traveling, see the talent, and trying to pick out that one or two studs that are gonna help a team win.
Really?
I feel like
You're one of those studs, actually, right? I mean,
I
you're
guess.
good. You play.
Humbly.
You play
But-
well, bro.
yeah, I had like a knack for picking out talent,
Okay.
and I guess I used that to translate into business, to see what stood out, what's going on, good or bad, to see if I can turn it around.
Interesting. Interesting. So when did you become interested in basketball?
So I would say like around first grade, second grade, because of my brother. So I seen him playing. He's 20. He just turned 28, and I always saw him playing when he was younger. Big brother, always trying to follow him.
Noah was into ball.
He was a baller. Yeah,
He was a
He was a baller before me.
Okay, now he's a cop.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And I
So
was a
he was a
cop.
baller. So you're looking up to your older bro. You're
Yeah.
watching him, and then you're like, I want to do
Yeah, I
that.
said I want to do that, and then I got tired of losing to him 1-on-1, so I
Interesting.
had to find my own way.
Okay. So
So
now, when did you get serious about bowling?
probably when I
And you're
moved.
good, bro. I have to say. I mean, I've seen you do your
Thank you.
thing.
I probably would say when I moved to Long Island in third grade. I was in Queens and I moved to Long Island, and around like fourth or fifth grade, I got on a team games called Game 7, based out of Rockville Center, and that was my first legit team. I was the worst on the team, and that kind of inspired me to.
You were the worst
I was the
on
worst
the
on the team.
team.
Yeah,
That's okay.
and
How old
I'm
were you
like, I
again?
wasn't used to this. I was
Okay.
in Queens in like the CYO clinics. I'm
But you
like,
didn't quit, bro.
no,
That says a
yeah,
lot about you.
that was one of my
Interesting.
passions.
Okay.
Once I have a goal,
So all right, so how old were you at that age when you realized you were the worst on the team?
probably like I would say around like 9, 10.
Okay, we can do a whole lesson
Yeah.
on that, but we can talk about that for like a half an hour.
Around 9 or 10.
Because at 9 or 10, realizing you were the worst on the team, how did you push past that as at such a young age? What was your mindset? How did
I
you
just-
not why did you not quit?
I guess I could say because of my stubbornness. I hated losing, and
Ah,
everything I did, board games,
so your
you know,
your competitiveness
video
came through.
games. Yeah,
So you realized you were a loser and you were not good,
yeah.
right? But you pushed through. So
Pushed through.
when how long did it take you to become so good? How long was that process? Years?
Yeah, definitely years.
Wow, that's impressive, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing that people gotta understand. They
Okay.
want to see results overnight, but it takes a process.
Okay.
So
So have you ever thought of going pro?
yeah.
So let's
I'm
talk
still-
about, before you answer that, let's talk about some of your accolades,
Yeah.
accomplishments. I know you want to be a humble guy and all that, bro, but just
So,
how good, I'm not really into basketball.
Yeah.
Like, so how good were you? Like, explain to me in b-ball terms. I know we got ballers in the live audience.
So I started
How good were you?
from high school. I was like 13 when I was freshman year of high school. I was a starting point guard on varsity. I get to start on varsity, and I'm made my way up. And then I scored 1,000 points in high school. We lost in the chip game my senior year.
How big of a deal is it to score 1,000 points?
I would say it's pretty tough. It's-
Wow.
Yeah, probably like one or two players can only do that in the team because there's only one ball, 5 players. So
Beast.
and it's like they only count varsity years, so most people
Okay.
only play in varsity junior, senior year.
So is that something that scouts would look at and say, "Oh, this dude scored 1,000 points"?
Yeah, and
And-
whatever that scout, he's a scorer. If they're looking for scores on their team, that would stand out to them. But I think what stood out, I was mostly like a leader, and defense was kind of my main thing also. So, I would be the best defensive player in the team, which translated to college. And
Okay, let's talk about that. How did you do in college?
college was, it was kind of like a real awakening for me. Freshman year, I kind of struggled, and then
Wait, why? Because you weren't as good
Because-
as you thought you were?
that and just opportunity rise.
Okay.
Coach recruited me. I thought I was gonna play a lot more than I did, but and honestly, I wasn't. There was people ahead of me. We had a freshman who was just in my class. He was my roommate, RJ. Shout
Okay.
out to him. He pushed me honestly to be who I am today because
Really?
he was very good. And he came in, he dropped like 20 the first game, and I'm like,
Wow.
I'm not playing this season after I saw that. We already had 2 senior guards who were good. They worked their way up. They were captains,
Okay.
and I was behind them, but I was still like cooking them in practice and everything.
Okay.
So it was frustrating. But then sophomore year happened, and that was a COVID year, and that's
Okay.
when I was all remote, so I was all home, and that was honestly the hardest my off season that I worked out every day, like 3 workouts a day in the summer, that whole year because there was no school.
How old were you?
So I was 17 freshman year, 18, 19 that sophomore year, and I was at the park every day training, playing games, playing pickup.
Bro, you're competitive, man.
And that was it. That was the turnaround. And the next year, I was starter. I was averaging like 20, which is I would say pretty hard in college. 20 points with scout and everything.
Beast.
And
So where was your mindset at that point, like for career basketball? Like, were you thinking I'm gonna pursue business, or I'm gonna go the basketball and like NBA? Did you ever have it?
I was definitely just pro, like overseas mindset that I want. That was my goal sophomore year.
Okay.
Once I realized that the work I put in and the results are showing, my confidence just went through the roof. Not because I was cocky or anything. I wasn't like cocky. It was because of the preparation and the work. Like, you know, I was writing my workouts down. I was like a basketball nerd geek.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I would see how many shots I put up, all the hours, and it translated.
So
And the coach, you know, had trust in me.
so you got into this grind mindset.
Yeah.
Who helped you through that? Like, was it like self-initiated, or were you on YouTube like trying to looking at things to help you better yourself? Like, how were you, like, it sounds like you were just driven by yourself.
Yeah, it was mostly, you know, self-motivation, trying to be the best I can without, you know, someone babying me. It was just me being me, stubborn.
Right.
Like, I just wanted to be the best at anything I did, which is good
It
and
sounds
bad.
like at 9, like, you realized you were horrible and you didn't like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm gonna change that. And then something switched in you, bro, and you just like, you became driven and competitive, and you didn't stop.
Yeah. I just wanted to keep going until I got to that point.
So as you're going through that season of life and that basketball path, I wanna talk about your walk with God during that season. So and let's back up a little bit more. How did you grow up? What was your how'd you grow up? Like, what'd you learn about God? How does that look, like religion in your house, or what you knew about God as a kid? Let's go back to like your preteen years.
So I was fortunate that my parents, you know, grew up in church, always brought me to church. But, you know, like we talked earlier, like I wasn't locked in with God at the time. I was kind of treating it like, you know, not a game, but going through the motions. You know, I was definitely not taking it serious. I was just showing up. I'll be in church thinking about basketball, honestly. I'll be in church thinking about what move I'm going to do in the game later.
Which is, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
It was what really interested you.
Yeah.
So would it be fair to say that in your preteen years, you had no interest in God, or you had little interest in God?
I'd say I had little interest.
I
was always surrounded by, you know, I always knew like God was blessing our family, and, you know, he had my back, but I took advantage of it. I never really understood, you know, that personal relationship. You know, I was just like playing church. I would go Sunday, I'm like, I came to church Sunday, I'm good, you know, I'm good, I'm going to heaven. Like kind of that mindset, immature mindset, that I wasn't, you know, taking it as serious as now. But definitely just, I would say, lukewarm, you know. I
going through the motions.
Yeah, I was a lukewarm Christian most of my life.
So you were younger, 9, 10, you realized, okay, my basketball game is not there. I need to work on that. So when did that spiritual trigger happen for you? You're like, you know what? My walk with God is not there. I need to work on that. When did that happen?
I would say a little bit of it happened during that COVID year, honestly. I got hurt. I got hit by a car on my bike.
So that was you were grinding.
Yeah.
So while you were grinding,
I'm like,
perfecting your skill, you got hit by a car.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I was riding my bike. You know, the light was yellow. I was speeding through it, and I guess the light might have went green, and the car coming from the intersection hit right into my back,
dude.
into my bike.
What kind of bike? BMX?
No, like a regular. A regular bike.
It's out on the island? What? Sunrise Highway?
Sunrise
Highway.
Highway.
Was that Sunrise? Or like, is it a back street?
Yeah.
So it was
Sunrise
Sunrise
Highway. Yeah.
Okay.
And I did a flip, and thank God I landed.
So it hit you from the rear?
Yeah, hit the back tire. So I'm going forward, hit the back tire.
Well,
thank God
dangerous.
I was going fast, because they were going fast.
Yes.
And we kind of collided, and I did a front flip.
That's
I wish
crazy,
I had it on camera, because I kind of want to see. I landed. I did a front flip, no helmet, landed on my heel. I broke my heel.
You could have landed
on my head. I could have died.
You could have, right. No, I've actually seen that.
No, yeah.
I've seen someone get hit by a car, then flip. He was on a bike,
Yeah.
flip into traffic, and then get run over by a truck.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen that, bro.
Yeah.
So God,
sure you've
God
seen a lot,
protected
yeah.
you, dude.
No, yeah, he did.
God protected you.
And
That's
it was kind of,
crazy.
I had a lot of injuries in high school. I broke my kneecap in high school before in my junior year in playoffs. So I was like, always like, why me, guy? Like, kind of
Right.
that mindset. And then after I got that injury, I'm like, because I didn't know the season was going to get canceled that before COVID happened. So I'm training. I'm like best shape of my life. And then I get hit by a car. I'm like, now I'm back to square one, guy. Like, why?
crazy.
Why does this have to happen? Right,
Right.
when I'm getting confidence, everything's going well.
Right.
Boom, rock bottom again.
Okay. So did that help you? Did that incident help you now get closer to God?
It helped me like take the personal relationship, get closer. Definitely.
So let's talk about that. When did it become serious? When did you like say, "Hey, I need a change here. I need to get closer to God." When that accident happened, you had time to think.
Yeah. And then honestly, it wasn't until this past years when I actually started to lock in with God with my whole heart, which was, after college, after all those environments I was in, after all, that basketball, trying to win a championship, school, trying to balance time. I really had time to figure out what's really priority in my life and how I got here, like why I'm blessed, why I'm living right now is, I kind of, I hit rock bottom after I graduated college. I didn't I was hard to find a job and everything, so I was really like I didn't know what to do. I got my wrist was messed up. I still need
from
my senior year.
From the car accident?
No, from my senior year of college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we won the championship, the first championship in my school history, and then after that, I'm
Nice.
like, my mindset is still like trying to go overseas. I wanted to play in Puerto Rico, and my wrist, I needed surgery. I still need surgery, but it was just another like why does this have to happen? Why do I have to keep going through obstacles? I'm having trouble finding a job. I'm just doing nothing right now. I'm being a bum, just trying to make my way playing basketball. And
Right.
I'm like, what really matters here? And that's when I really, I went on a fast, and that really.
What did you hear God say, bro?
I had a lot of. He honestly revealed a lot to me. He, told me what really mattered and what I had to do. And
Can you share that?
yeah, definitely. So it started when I did my fast. I went like 7 days, no food, and I did the rest of 21 days the Daniel fast, and I kind of just sacrificed everything toward him. Like I surrendered all my desires and everything that I thought was cool, thought was normal, and living that life that that worldly life that the flesh wants. In college I would go out, I would hang out with my friends and do things that weren't good for you spiritually, and I was in this like stuck in a cycle, and I had to get out of it. I felt like I was in a hole. I wanted something new. I wanted to be refreshed.
That's
And
cool.
then that's when I decided to go on a fast.
I kind of see your determination, like your personality, even in that. Like
Yeah.
keep going back to the 9-year-old, because you realize I'm really in a bad place here, and I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to go after God right now. I'm going to shut down, and I'm going to just lock in, because that's a big deal, bro. Fasting and making the determination to say, hey, I need a change right now. So that's powerful. So you did that, and then God spoke to you,
Yeah.
and then boom.
Yeah. He gave me. I had some dreams. I had a lot of like couple dreams that really stuck out to me. One of them was, I had a dream that I saw myself like preaching, and that was kind of really the turning point of.
And now you are preaching.
That was really the turning point of just saying like, this is what my passion for basketball and how I studied and everything I did in school and my life before that. It was all because of what he wanted me to be. And if I can take my passion this hard for a sport, I could do it for God. And I knew he built that discipline, that passion in me for a reason. And he revealed why what that reason really was for.
Give me the reveal, bro.
And that, that is to preach and spread the gospel and be his servant and a discipline for him.
So for those who don't know what that means, spread the gospel, what does that mean? What does that mean to someone who like is not a church, doesn't know church stuff, doesn't know about the Bible, doesn't know about Jesus? What does that mean?
So
how would you explain that?
To explain it, I would say spreading the gospel is, the good news, the truth, and joy and peace, honestly, of true peace and the truth of what Jesus did for us and how we can get that, true relationship with him and how we really can get to heaven, honestly, because that's the main goal, like to be with Jesus and to be with God in heaven. And preaching the gospel is just being courageous and brave of what the Bible says. And not many people like it and not many people find it comfortable, but that's part of it. And finding ways, I always had a way with people, like fitting in, reading people, and preaching the gospel is almost like reading person. You want to like throw it out on them and say what you're doing right now is not holy, you're not worthy. Like it's about finding a way to love a person in that way and show them who God really is. So
I love that, bro. So what would you say to teenagers, because many teenagers will be watching this video, they're watching your life, you're pouring into a lot of students here at Real Life, and I'm very proud of you and I'm thankful for you, bro, for that. I see your determination, your love for Jesus. What would you say to those students who like, hey, you guys taking this church stuff a little too seriously, or like, you know what, it's nice, but it's not for me. Like I don't need God like that in my life. What would you say to that student?
It's a good question. I would say that if you want to find true peace and find your real purpose in life, that, God is the only way. If you feel like you're in a cycle, you feel like you're lost, you feel like you want something more, right? Jesus fills in all those gaps in that void in your heart that you wish that you didn't feel, that you wish that you felt something better. Jesus just gives you that peace and that calmness and that peace that you're missing, that people are trying to find. Like, and I would say that it's more about the relationship side and not, all the routines and the gimmicks that many people, think they have to do to be a Christian, to be saved. And it's more about just having a relationship with God and understanding that talking to him and him having your back is real. And to feel that is such a good feeling that I wish people can feel, because they're searching for so much and they're trying to satisfy their flesh, which you can't satisfy.
Of all ages, everyone, from the youngest to the oldest, are doing that. So this is good stuff, man. And we can go on and on forever. But so you said something about relationships, and I want to close with this. What are some of the things, as far as relationships are concerned, that got you tripped up with friends and people who were just not really pursuing God? What were some of those things, like either girlfriends or guys that caused you to like veer off the path?
Yeah, I would say it was me really being like a people pleaser. I always like to get along with people. So I would do things that they would like, even though I knew inside I really like it. I didn't want to do it.
Desire to just be liked by people.
Yeah, or like a desire to. I always like to make people like feel comfortable.
Right.
So like, if my teammate that I wasn't that close with, if he's going out, like I want to go out with him and see what he's doing. Like,
right.
So like I was really,
you're a people person.
Yeah.
But sometimes that being a people person and a people pleaser can
put you
in bad situations that we shouldn't be in.
Exactly. You can't have it all.
Right.
You got to sacrifice some stuff.
So where do you see yourself? What is God doing now? Like what Rylan right now into the next year?
Honestly don't know. I'm just doing what he put me in. You know, he opened doors for me. He got me my job. He got me my coaching job.
Mhm.
So he really, I feel like right now he's preparing me to take these little things seriously. Like this job, taking it seriously, coaching, getting that passion, and being able to talk to kids and give them lessons and life lessons is
Yeah.
is part of the mission that is preparing me for the future.
So
Like
leading with diligence now, even
Yeah.
in the small things, because bigger things are coming.
yeah, like
Um,
Jesus, he didn't start his preaching, his
Correct.
missionaries until like he was 30. So what he was doing all the years preparing, building stuff, being a carpenter.
So what are you doing as a closing tip personally that the students that are here live listening and who are going to be watching later, what are you doing in the everyday? Because you seem like a guy who, like, when you make up your mind to do something, you have a plan and then you implement the plan, you execute.
Yeah.
So what are you doing toward that end spiritually? Like, what are some spiritual things that you're doing? And then we'll close with that. And maybe we can use this as tips. Like every day, what does your spiritual walk look like?
So I would definitely say prayer is huge, and getting that private time with God, and continue to ask him, like, God, is this where you want me to be? You can have that other job that pays more, but that's just your pride, right? So I just gotta stay humble and say, God, where do you want me to be? Do you still want me to be here? Do you want me to be where you put me, or is it time to move where you want me to go? And I'm just sacrificing my pride and my desires to continue to ask him, where do you want me? Is this where you want me to be?
Okay.
And
So
and
your prayer
continue to-
life,
prayer life.
how often a day are you praying? Are you praying throughout the day? You have a lockdown prayer time? Like, how does that look for you?
So I start the morning, praying. I feel like every time I don't get the chance to pray, maybe you're in a rush, slept in late, my day's not as peaceful.
It's not the same.
It's not the
Right,
same.
it's not the same.
So definitely starting the day off in prayer.
Yeah.
Just saying, God, use me today to do whatever you want me to do for your purpose, for as best as I could. And honestly, the most enjoyable is on the drive to work and just listening to that early Christian music and just peaceful music and just talking to him on my way to work, because that's what prayers is, just talking with God. And you don't gotta ask for everything. You could just try to listen to him too for some time.
I love that, bro.
And at night is I shut my lights and I just close my eyes. Sometimes I don't even speak. I just listen. I just try to feel him and just be in his presence, because honestly that's the best feeling. Just
It's purposeful meditation, bro. You're
Yeah.
really being intentional about going after God. And
Yeah.
I love that, bro. And so your prayer life, how about your fasting life? Because you said something about fasting, kind of, which gave you a breakthrough into where you are now. So are you still fasting? Do you fast at all?
Yeah, I try to do fasting every Wednesday, the whole day.
And what does that look like? You're just not eating all day?
Yeah, I don't eat all day, but I just try to focus on being in his presence, and just anytime I have, just think about him, talk to him. At work, at lunch, I bring my Bible, and my coworkers are eating in the table in the lunchroom, and I'm in my office still
I love that.
reading my scripture. And reading scripture is big for me too, because I like to compare it to basketball. Like that's my keeping my skills sharp, my senses sharp. I can't just go in a basketball game and I'm one of those people that get my confidence from reps and hard work. And if I don't get the shots up, I'm not gonna feel good in the game.
Reps and hard work.
But if I'm not reading my scripture, my game's gonna be off.
Correct. Correct.
Those temptations start to hit you more. You start to lose focus easily. And I just feel like the more you're sharp in your game or your prayer life, with your Bible reading and your private time and your worship time with God, your game's gonna be, your spiritual game's gonna be sharp.
Off.
Yeah,
it's gonna be off if you're not doing that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be off.
So those are great tips, and I hope the listening audience pays attention to that. I know that they will, because I know that the students want to grow in their walk with God. And bro, this has been really a blessing. I want to thank you for being a part of it, and this is a great interview. And
thank you for having me.
I'm proud of you, bro. I'm
you.
very, very proud of you. You're a humble beast. And I'm thankful that God brought you to real life for this time, bro.
Thank you, man. Love you, man.
Love you, bro. All right, real life. We will see you at the next episode. Thank you for joining us. We love you. Peace.